all you coin collectors out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have two 1-cent coins from the country of Canada. And what we have here is a 1958 1-cent coin and a 1959 1-cent coin. As you can see, they both have the same reverse. And this is the back side of the reverse, or the maple leaf side. It says 1, the number 1 cent, C-E-N-T. Then we have the sprig of maple leaves here, and then it says 1958. Down at the very bottom it says Canada. And then if we blow it up here, we see a KG here, and that's the initials of George Kruger Gray, who was the engraver of the back of this coin. Now when we look at the other one, we see that it is pretty much exactly the same. It says 1 cent, 1959, again Canada, George Kruger Gray. And we have these lines on both of the coins that go out. The actual technical name for these, I believe, is denticles, but they look a lot like gears or some kind of gearing on the inside. If we tip these coins up, we see that they are smooth on the edge, and we flip them over, we see we have the Mary Gillick portrait of Queen Elizabeth on the back of these coins, Queen Elizabeth II, and it says Elizabeth II, Dea Gratia, by the grace of God, Regina, or Queen. And she's facing to the right, and she has the ribbons in her hair and kind of the laurel wreath or crown going across here. Now these coins are not extremely valuable coins. They're 98% copper, both of them, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc. Each of them weigh about 3.24 grams. They are 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Now, I should say this is a Mary Gillick portrait on the front here, but it has been given a little bit of help in the engraving by the engraver Thomas Single, S-I-N-G-L-E, on the Canadian coins. If we look to see what kind of varieties of coins these have, we'll see that there are a couple of these coins that might have some value. In the year 1958, there are some with die chips in them, some with a little extra metal, but the one that you'll see the most is one called the Hanging 8, in which you actually have some extra material here above the 8, so it looks like the 8 is actually an ornament in some sense hanging from the maple sprig. We see that this particular coin here does not look like it has the Hanging 8 on it. There is no extra material in there. There are some other error coins that if you look on Coins in Canada website, you'll see some of those other error coins. For the 1959, the error coins for that year are, many of them involve a doubling. So some of them involve a doubling of the DEI up here, and we can see this probably doesn't have any doubling. Doubling is a very hard thing for me to see, and frequently I can't even tell. And then sometimes we have a doubling on the Elizabeth II. Again, I don't see any of that on this particular coin. And then sometimes a doubling on the reverse. And on the 1958 coins, we see something we saw in some of the prior years, and that is instead of this 5 coming like this, that's a different light there, huh? That's actually a little bit better. Sometimes this 5 is really pointed, and if it's a pointed 5, that's considered an error, or certainly a coin that's somewhat different from the others. Now, in the 1958 and 1959 coins, again, the front and back are the same, and that is interesting to those of you who collect United States coins, because we know that in 58 and 59, they changed the U.S. coins. So this is a 58 Denver coin, 58D, United States, in God We Trust, Liberty. God We Trust, Liberty. It says 1958, and there's a D here. 1958D. And this one over here is a 1959D. This one's a little bit chipped, but I wanted to bring it out just because they were both Denver coins. Now, If we look at the two of these, we see that the front of these coins, or the obverse, is exactly the same, just like the Canadian coins. And we flip this over, we see, ah yeah, 1958 was still the wheat cent in the United States. But when we flip the 1959 over, we see the first of the Lincoln Memorial cents. So in the United States, and we'll have a video on these two coming up, the United States, they changed the coins between 58 and 59, and they put the Lincoln Memorial cent on the back. In Canada, however, they did not change the coins, and so you're going to have the same Mary Gillick portrait of Queen Elizabeth on the front, the same maple leaves on the back, and simply a different year number here. And also, what you're going to have in some cases is some different kinds of error coins for the Canadian uh, 1 cent coins. Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing that's kind of interesting. And Canada always puts the 1 in the cent here, and the US always spells out 1. 1 cent, O-N-E, Canada says the number 1 in the cent. And finally, I want to talk about the numbers of these that were made. The 1958 Canada 1 cent, they made 59 million. The 1959, they made 83.6 million. So this one, they made many more of them. If you're going to look for an uncirculated one, this one might, the 1958 uncirculated might be worth twice as much as a 1959 uncirculated, and that might be in the $5 to $7 range in some cases, depending on how good the quality of the 58 uncirculated is. All right, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Hopefully you're having a great day, and we'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.